Here we are at Old Bond Street and New Bond Street. Old Bond Street being there from the 1600s and New Bond Street starting in the 1700s. Only England could something that old be called new. It's an appropriate start because we're here for a Bond experience like no other. Back to the Burlington Arcade. Number 9 Cork Street is the location of Benson, Perry and Whitney, which was Ian Fleming's tailors, just off the road and parallel to Savile Row and down the road from the Burlington Arcade. Everything in London is interconnected. It's a Bond experience. And arriving at the Aston Martin Goldfinger celebration event is Mark Woolrich, who's a Mark, and Philip Dewhurst II, President Philip Dewhurst II of Club GB 007. The red carpet has been rolled out for these august guests.
Absolutely, keeping the British end up.
Keeping the British end up, wonderful. And here we are back in the Burlington Arcade. Good old Bollinger champagne, as ever.
This evening to this incredible venue for what we hope will be a really special celebration. I wanted to start by just saying a big thank you to our hosts here at the Burlington Arcade for their incredibly warm hospitality this evening, and to Tripsy and all of your team for your enthusiasm in making this event possible, which is going to be open to the public for the next couple of weeks. So please do spread the word and encourage your friends and colleagues to come and check out the House of Q. I'd also like to just say a couple of other thank yous as well to Bollinger, of course, the toast of 007, for kindly providing tonight's refreshments. So please do enjoy a glass of Bollinger this evening. And also to all of the team, to Stephanie Wemborn and all of her incredible team at E.ON for their support and enthusiasm for this event. and particularly to Meg Simmons, their incredible archivist, who's provided some very special items inside the store that you'll see tonight, including the original script from Goldfinger, which I encourage you to have a look at, one of the original screenplays. So we're really, really honoured to have that on display here at the House of Q. Given we are celebrating all things Q, we're also honoured to have a very special guest with us tonight, and I'd like to say a warm welcome to Sir Richard Moore, the Chief of MI6, who's joined us tonight alongside Lady Moore. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for everything that the real Secret Service does in this country. So thank you for joining us. Tonight, we are here to raise a glass to a very special anniversary, because in September we will celebrate the 60th anniversary of Goldfinger, the very first film to feature an Aston Martin in the iconic DB5 that's behind me this evening. This was a model that really helped to establish Aston Martin as one of the world's most desirable brands. I think it's really important that when you see this car behind me, it's very easy to think of this as a classic car, a beautiful classic car. But it's important to remember that back in 1964, this was very much at the cutting edge of technology, of innovation and engineering, much like our cars are today with the award-winning DB12, one of the successors to the DB5, which you'll see at the top of the arcade tonight. And I was talking to our historian, Steve Waddingham, about the DB5, and he pointed out to me that it was one of the first cars in the world to have a 5-speed gearbox. It had a top speed of 140 miles an hour at a time when the average family car was struggling to get past 70. This was a time when there was no speed limits or any cameras in the UK as well, so you could actually get from London to Birmingham or somewhere much quicker than you could today. And the car quickly became a real symbol of the swinging 60s Britain. Some of the early owners of the DB5 included Sir Paul McCartney, before he was, of course, Sir Paul McCartney, Mick Jagger, before he was Sir Mick Jagger, and Peter Sellers. So it was really kind of a status, one of the first status symbols of British luxury at the time in the 60s. And that obviously took a new level of fame when it was paired with Sean Connery in Goldfinger, and the rest, as they say, is history. I think over the 6 decades since, the relationship between Aston Martin has become much more than just a partnership. It's really a love affair between two British institutions who I think are both focused on being proud of their heritage, but remaining innovative and firmly with a future direction, and that's something that we, of course, hope will continue for many, many years to come. So we're delighted to be starting the 60th anniversary celebrations tonight, both through the event, but also through the wonderful special edition of our magazine that we've curated, which you'll all, I'm sure, receive a copy of this evening. And I really hope that you'll enjoy it as much as we've loved putting it together, because it's been a fantastic project for us and something we're very proud of. So with that in mind, I'd like to hand over to our esteemed consulting editor, Dylan Jones, to tell you a little bit about the magazine and perhaps the anniversary as well. So thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy the evening.
I just wanted to add my thanks to everyone for coming this evening to celebrate two extraordinary brands. In my eyes, they're one of the world's great lovebirds, like Paul Newman and Robert Redford, David Bowie and Queen, or Strawberries and Cream, or indeed Peaches and Cream. I've worked for Aston Martin for some time now, and it's fascinating to me, as someone who is obsessed with detail, to see up close the way in which they work, and to properly understand the attention to detail, the planning, and the obsessive dedication to quality, performance, and style. And I've worked with many of the most celebrated car brands in the world, and few of them I think have the cachet of Aston Martin. And I think I've always appreciated, one of the things I've really appreciated about working with them is that whatever they're doing, they're not content just to go through the motions. And when they produce products, merchandising, clothing, magazine, and it really is a very, very special magazine. And obviously the cars themselves, they just truly reflect their brand values, and that's really, really important, I think, because so many people these days don't. And as for their relationship with 007? Well, it's been inspiring, influential, and obviously very commercially dynamic. I do have one complaint though. I've worked with them for a number of years now, and I can't get anyone to tell me who the new Bond is. No one. I ask, and I'm ignored. And not even after a night of very expensive champagne. However, someone will buckle, and someone in this room knows who it is. My advice is to keep asking, and when you find out, please tell me. Have a fantastic time. Good night.
Thank you. I'm with Paul Garbett, Head of Communications, Aston Martin, our host for this evening. Paul, tell us what Goldfinger and Aston Martin mean to you this 60th anniversary year.
Well, it's a very important anniversary for Aston Martin because I suppose it celebrates the start of what's been a real love affair between these two British institutions since. So we're very, very proud of the association with James Bond, and I think it really celebrates two organisations that are very proud of their British heritage, but also remaining very, very future focused. So it's an anniversary that we're delighted to celebrate, and you know, one of the most iconic associations that we have at Aston Martin.
Well, Aston Martin goes together with Bond like strawberries and cream, as you said. Tell us, you're very dapper today. What does the Bond lifestyle and the Bond image mean to you? Because Aston Martin's bespoke and British. You're very well tailored today. Tell us about the Bond lifestyle in your view.
Well, I think that there's a certain element of the brand that really fits the character very well. I think it was Ken Adam, the famous set designer at Pinewood, that I think was one of the first people to identify the DB5 was the right car for Bond, because it's got that muscular feel, but still with that feeling of a Savile Row suit when you come inside an Aston Martin and you feel the interior, you see the handcrafted elements that are made in Britain. So I suppose there's an element of the brand that probably links very, very well to the character of James Bond, and that's stood the test of time.
Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you for having us. Great evening. Bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, I have Dylan Jones from GQ magazine and a bunch of other things. Mr. Jones, can you tell us what Bond and Aston Martin mean to you?
Well, like I said in my speech, they're just a perfect partnership. And I think a perfect partnership is one that endures, and one that's been going for 60 years is very, very impressive. So that's what it means to me.
Now, you're a bit of a god in lifestyle services in your fine tailoring. Tell us what Bond and lifestyle and clothes mean to you.
Well, I think James Bond, or at least the visual filmic James Bond, became such an archetype. And actually, I think he did wonders for post-war men, because he legitimised and encourage men to actually dress properly, I think, and also dress in a more, I know it's a very old-fashioned word now, but in a more continental way.
Yeah, splendid. Thank you so much, Dylan.
Absolute pleasure.
Please. Here with Ray Massey. Ray, can you introduce yourself? An august journalist in England.
Yep. Hello, I'm Ray Massey. I'm the motoring editor for the Daily Mail, and I'm here to celebrate the launch of this magazine, which commemorates 60 years of Goldfinger and the association between Aston Martin, the DB5, and the Eon Bond movies.
Do you know a little bit about Aston Martin DB5s, don't you, Ray?
Well, I know a little bit. I always am a journalist first and a motoring expert second. However, I can tell you, driven this car, this is a continuation Aston Martin DB5, and it has most of the gadgets. It has the machine guns, it has the smoke coming out the back, it has
a homing device, all sorts of
it's
things.
got a few other bits involved. The only thing it doesn't have, sadly, is the ejector seat, because that was considered just one move too far for health and safety. However, if you have the wherewithal and you have the desire, once you bought it, there's nothing to stop you fitting your own. But these were continued, these are real DB5s, and they were built in the 21st century to the same spec as the original DB5, but with the added extra of most of the gadgets. So fantastic evening
Raymond,
tonight.
I can vouchsafe for that because I saw you testing them out in Stoke Park many moons ago. Then can you just tell about James Bond and fashion? We're in the Burlington Arcade. What does James Bond and clothing and lifestyle mean to you? or to the average British? What's synonymous?
Do you mean the James Bond lifestyle here?
Yeah.
There's something to inspire you. I mean, as a kid, I had the original little porky DB5 with the little blue man, and they always got lost, so they must have made an absolute fortune with that. You know, there's whole generations have gone through their own James Bonds, and what is it they always say? Every woman wants to be with him, every man wants to be him. So,
well, I can't tell the difference between you and Sean Connery at the moment. So, thank you so much, Raymond.
Imagine, my pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy the...
And here we are.
Hello.
Can you introduce yourself to us, sir?
I'm Thomas Allen. I'm part of the staff here, just showcasing a little bit of Aston Martin over here in the Burlington Arcade.
Yes. But are you just staff here, or aren't you the most knowledgeable man here about James Bond, Thomas?
Well, I do know a thing or two about James Bond, you know, and I'm familiar with the Bond experience. I'm actually close personal friends with Calvin Dyson.
Calvin Dyson, he's wonderful.
Bond reviewer,
He's the best with David Zaritsky. Tell us what Bond means to you, and in particular, Goldfinger, the Aston Martin. What does it mean?
Goldfinger, I mean, certainly the old school. I'm a bit Pierce Brosnan myself, because that's like my childhood Bond.
You're the GoldenEye generation.
Yeah, but
Still
the old
DB5,
school,
yeah.
Of the old school, Goldfinger, obviously, it's that pinnacle, isn't it? It's the absolute, it's the ultimate of what we wanted from Bond in the 60s. It just got everything right.
Yeah.
And the DB5, that's part of it, isn't it? You know?
Now tell me, what's it like serving Bollinger to all these Bond people? This is a nice place to do this, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Oh, well, you know, there's lots of lovely people here drinking lots of lovely Bollingers.
So Thomas, you're an actor, aren't you? You've got a one-man show playing in Edinburgh Fringe. What's it about? Tell us the name and what the show is.
The show is called Bonding, and it is about a character that I play and his experience with James Bond and how that relates to ideas of masculinity and that sort of thing.
And where can we get tickets?
Oh, on the Edinburgh Fringe website.
Edinburgh Fringe website. And it's called what again? What's it called?
It's called Bonding.
Bonding, brilliant.
Look it up.
Thank you, Thomas.
And it is excellently reviewed and recommended by Calvin Dyson.
Well, if Calvin likes it, we all like it. Bless you, Thomas. Cheers. Bye. Hi there, this has been Ajay Chowdhury for the Bond Experience, celebrating 60 years of Aston Martin, Goldfinger and James Bond in the Burlington Arcade. What a splendid time. Visit soon, and remember, this is the James Bond Experience. Bye.
Thanks for watching this episode. If you want to be up on the latest from the Bond Experience, just click on this subscribe and subscribe to our channel. You're going to get all the latest and greatest information, plus some exclusive content. And by the way, speaking of content, here's something especially for you, just because we know you. Talk to you soon.